A look at Yan Siyu stepping up in the batter's box. Yan Siyu looking at the first pitch low outside from Gianna Mancha, and it is 1 ball and no strikes. Siyu, the left fielder. She is 3 out of 14. And that one is a strike called. Mentioned Mancha, who has only thrown 3 2/3 innings for Puerto Rico. Most of the innings have gone to Taryn Alvelo and Alicia Ocasio. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Puerto Rico last year had 2 more pitchers on their roster. They actually elected to come here with only 15 players. You're allowed to have up to 16 on the roster. 1-2 the count. That one's low. Good block by Camille Ortiz, who's in there behind the plate today. In last night's game, Alimali Lopez was catching. Lopez has caught all of Puerto Rico's previous affairs, and Ortiz came into the game last night and hit a pinch hit home run. There's a comebacker on 1 hop, stabbed by Mancha. She makes the easy play to Claudio at first, and Yan Siyu bounces out 1-3. That's how this game begins, 1 down. So now Xia Yue will come up to the plate. Yue is 3 out of 12. China had struggled mightily offensively until yesterday's game, when they managed to plate 5 runs against Australia. It took them 10 innings to do it. There's a bunt. It's a fair ball picked up by the catcher. No chance to get Yue at first, as she was well past the bag. So a bunt single. Looked like it ricocheted off the plate and trickled just to the left. Good play by Ortiz to pounce on it. She was the only one that would have had a chance, but probably should have just put it in her pocket. So now Ren Min. Ren Min, 4 for 12. Min and Shi Kailin, the captain, they are the 2 hitters that you want to be very careful with. They're the ones that have gap power and sometimes home run power. Ren Min, no home runs in this tournament, but she has one of the 2 extra base hits. It was a triple in the game against Australia. There's a hot shot off the glove of Claudio, behind the bag at first. Rounding second, headed to third is Yue. The throw there is not in time. So Min with a sharply hit ground ball. We'll see how that's going to be scored. It was definitely playable for Claudio, and it hit off of her glove, but it puts runners at the corners, and China trying to keep their momentum going coming out of that big win, the extra inning victory against Australia yesterday. And they have put the pressure on. And Shi Kailin now with first and third. That pitch is a strike called. Kailin is 2 for 13. That has been ruled a base hit off the bat of Ren Min. So 2 hits in the inning for China. And the pitch, a fly ball to left center field. That's a long run and a good running catch in center field by Madison Simon. Tagging from third is Yue. She will come home and score. Min goes back to first. There are 2 outs, but China takes a 1-0 lead on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Shi Kailin. Madison Simon had to go a long way to get that ball. Looked for a moment like it might get in there, but it was basically, at the end of the day, a lazy fly ball. However, a productive one. And so there are 2 down, and David Santos wants to appeal the tag play at third. Renzo Ruiz says nope. You can expect Santos to be out of the dugout after every play. He's going to have something to say, some question he wants to confirm. He was doing that yesterday. That pitch missed low and away to Shi Jiaxin. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner on first, 2 down. Shi Jiaxin is 1 out of 13. That one missed in the same spot. 2 balls and no strikes. So Xia Yue singled, and Ren Min hit a sharp ground ball. One could probably argue that Claudio should have made the play, but it was ruled a hit. And so that's going to be an earned run. There's a slow ground ball to the right side. Cordova shovels it to first to get the 3rd out of the inning. But China scores a run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. The end of a half inning of play here in the 17th Women's Softball World Cup. It is China 1, Puerto Rico coming to bat. We'll be right back on GameTime.sport.
And as we set to go to the bottom of the first inning, here is the defense. Batting eighth, number 31, Madison Simon. And batting ninth, number 44, Cafilia Garcia.
To the bottom of the first inning, China scoring a run on 2 hits in the top half, and Puerto Rico will come to bat and get their first look at Xia Yinan. Xia Yinan has pitched every game for China. She pitched every game in the group stage. As you get a look at the lineup for Puerto Rico, it'll be Nia Carter, Alana Rivera, and then Jenna Pratt, 1, 2, 3. And Carter swings and hits a fly ball down the left field line that's out of reach for strike 1. Carter 1 out of 10, but she got her first hit yesterday. There's a fly ball, well hit to right field. Shushuan is back. She's underneath it and makes the catch. 1 away.
Carter is the first out of the inning.
And that will bring up Alana Rivera. Xia Yinan, I mentioned she started in every game. She is the starter, as much as there can be such a thing. But yesterday she threw 10 innings, getting the win, as Alana Rivera 2 out of 9. Looks at an off-speed pitch. It's in there for a strike. She threw 150 pitches in the game.
For Puerto Rico, number 19,
and she threw 69 pitches the day before that, 57 before that, and 81 before that. So a lot of pitches in the arm of Xia Yinan. Pitches upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. It looked towards the end of the game yesterday as if she was shaking her arm out. She was definitely fatigued. China has played, since the first game of the tournament, all day games out there in the extreme heat, and it's been Yinan standing in the middle of it every time. But here she is again today. She never shows any emotion. The most emotion she showed the entire week, good or bad, there's a curveball that missed inside, 3-1 to Rivera, was when she got the final out of the game. She clapped her hands twice, and that was it. Extreme workmanlike behavior. Pitcher, she has answered the call and gets a strike called right there, 3-2. And takes a deep breath, goes to the rosin bag. Three-2 on Alana Rivera. I'll give you the defense in a moment. That is upstairs, ball 4. Yinan, for her entire week's worth of work, she has thrown a total of 20 innings. 19 hits allowed, 11 runs, 10 earned runs. She's walked 10, struck out 18. So it's been a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. She gave up some home runs to Italy in the first game on Monday, as Jenna Pratt, the designated player, will step up. Pratt 4 out of 11. Looks at a pitch that's upstairs. Puerto Rico yesterday, they had struggled to score in the 3 previous games, but yesterday erupted for 13 hits and 8 runs against Italy. That one's high and outside. 2-0. And Yinan, no surprise, looks like she needs a little break. It's hot. She's looking at the landing spot. We have not seen the coach Tang Chengdong come out of the dugout except to remove a pitcher. He does not come out of the dugout and chat. 2 balls and no strikes to Jenna Pratt. And a rocket pulled foul past Wong Bei down the line. If that had been fair, Bei would have gotten to it. 2-1. It was Pratt who was on first base in yesterday's game in the 9th inning. There was the zombie runner on second, and Pratt lined a single. That moved runners to first and third, and then Carla Claudio grounded a base hit to score the run, but it was ruled on replay review that Pratt had left first base too soon. And now she hits a fly ball to right field. Sichuan is there and makes the catch with one hand. 2 down. After that play, obviously Pratt was erased. The run was taken off the board. Claudio had to go back to bat. And she swung as hard as she could at the first pitch out of frustration and lofted an easy fly ball to left field that was dropped by Laura Vigna, which allowed the run to score. However, Claudio inexplicably never left the home plate area, as here she is at the plate. She was thrown out on a 7-3, and you're probably never going to see that ever again. That pitch upstairs for a ball, I believe. Runner on first base is Rivera. Claudio, 3 out of 13, and that one is outside, 2-0. Shai Inan, when she's been effective, obviously it's when she's been getting ahead. She has not been working from in front of the count. Nia Carter was very aggressive and swung at both pitches she saw, eventually flying out, but she hit the ball well. Rivera walked, and Pratt now flied out. Claudio looking at the 2-0 pitch. That one's in there. Two balls and a strike on Carla Claudio. 2 down, 1-0 China. Swing and a miss. That ball spinning up in the eyes of Claudio, and so China, who scored their run in the first inning, they did that to Australia yesterday. It took Australia a long time to catch up and force extra innings. And Claudio swings over the top of that one to strike out and end the inning. So, no runs, a walk, no errors, 1 left on base, 1 complete here in Castellones de Estrada. This is the placement game of the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. China leading Puerto Rico 1-0. We get ready to go to the top of the second inning here in Castellones de Estrada. It is 1-0 in favor of China, and Gianna Mancha against Wang Bei, swinging and fouls that one off. Bei, 2 hits and 12 at bats. And the 24-year-old right-hander deals 1 strike. Bei hits a little roller. That hit her in the foot. That's strike 2 on Bei. It'll be Wang Bei, Li Jiaxi, and Dong Tzu-Shuang. 6, 7, and 8 in the order against Gianna Mancha. The pitch. That one comes in low. In the first inning, China scored a run thanks to Xie Yua's single and Ren Min knocking her home with a single of her own. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And just missed the outside corner. Mancha trying to paint. Ortiz trying to set that pitch up outside. You see some of the fans sitting around. You got to make sure you drink a lot of water out there. It is very warm. But it's been a nice week here in Castellones de Estrada as Bei fights that high pitch off. Of course, the evening games with the slightly cooler weather and the incredible breeze. And Italy playing all their home games at night. They will do so as well this evening. My partner, Chris Knobloch, will have those games for you. There's a slow roller on a couple of bounces to Claudio. She takes it to the bag for out number 1. This is a tournament this week that started with the 8 teams that were remaining from the group stage last year. We played 3 different groups. There was Group A in Ireland, Group B was in Valencia, Spain, and Group C was right here in Italy, in Castellones de Estrada, and also in Butrio. There's a bunt by Li Jiaxi, and the throw to first is in time. Good play by Mancha off the circle to get Jiaxi, who tried to slide in. And just a little bit too hard of a bunt. But if she had ran all the way through, perhaps could have beaten it out. So now Dong Tzu-Shuang, who is 3 out of 10. And that one bounces up and in and gets away from Camille Ortiz. Ball 1. 2 ground ball outs. So far, the 2 hits and the sacrifice fly off the bat of Shi Kai-lin. Are the only balls hit in the air against Gianna Mancha. There's another ground ball, slowly rolled to the right side. A quick play by Cordova and a good scoop on the back end by Carla Claudio. Cordova was very quick to range to her right. She backhanded and bounced the throw over there with purpose, and Claudio scooped it for the 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across the board for China. We go to the bottom of the second inning here in Castellones de Estrada. 1-0 China over Puerto Rico. This is the WBSC Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. With 5, 6, and 7, Camille Ortiz, Odalis Cordova, and Janelle Martinez. And this one bounces up there for ball 1. Inan had to deal with the 1-out walk to Alana Rivera in the first inning, but was able to strand the runner. And now Ortiz, who's 1 for 3. That one was the home run that she hit last night against Ilaria Cacciamani after all of the shenanigans had transpired prior to that. And she broke the game open. It sure felt like it, even though it was only a 3-run lead. It was a huge lift for Puerto Rico. They had witnessed an injury to one of their players. And the pitch is low. And she was coming off the bench, pinch hitting in Ocasio's spot in the order, and hit one over the center field fence. 2 balls and a strike to her. And that's a hot shot pulled foul as she really wheeled around that bat. You can see she's going through that motion, practicing getting the front hand through the zone. This is a replay. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Last night, Puerto Rico, look at the score, 6-5, 2 outs in the 9th, and she hit that blast to center field. And Isabella Dayton, who for her part had played so well offensively for Italy, trying to go back and get that one, could not. But here, Ortiz strikes out on a good off-speed pitch from Shai Inan. And there's one away.
Now batting for Puerto Rico, number 27, Odalis Cordova.
So Odalis Cordova, 2 out of 9. Cordova had both of those hits in yesterday's game. She had come in 0 for 7, had 2 big hits. As she looks at that first pitch for a strike, Cordova had a run-scoring single in the second inning yesterday, and then singled and scored in the 6th inning. That was the wild game against Italy. This one is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Those were her first 2 hits of the week. She has been stellar defensively, however. Puerto Rico, as a team, has been very good defensively. That's a good curveball from Shai Inan, but it missed inside for a ball. We take a look at the overall standings as everything is right now with the final 2 games of this tournament. Here's the 2-1. Cordova bounces one through the middle. That's going to boing into center field for a base hit. And she is aboard with a 1-out single. Obviously, the super round there's still another game to be played, but it's been decided. Netherlands will play USA after this, and then tonight it will be Australia versus Italy. But the gold and bronze medal games have already been set. Here's Janelle Martinez. She shows bunt, drops it down. It's fielded on a couple of bounces by Jiaxi. She throws to Jiaxin covering. That moves the runner Cordova to second base with 2 down. Play goes 3-4 on the sacrifice. So Puerto Rico playing small ball now, and it's going to be Madison Simon, who is 1 out of 5. She has scored a run. There's the tying run is on second base. Puerto Rico, if they win this game, they would clinch 5th place. As I was about to go through the rest of the standings right now, the way things are, USA, Canada, Japan, Netherlands, they're going to play off tomorrow in the championship games. It'll be USA versus Japan for gold. That ball is ripped foul, 0-2 on Simon. Way ahead of that off-speed pitch from Shayinan. And Netherlands and Canada will play for bronze. Canada has won the last 3 bronze. Netherlands has never won bronze. And then the placement round, right now Puerto Rico and China are the top 2 teams. Although China and Italy are tied. Italy, of course, would win the tiebreaker. There's a little squibber rolled out to short. Shia Yua gobbles it up and throws to first in time for the 3rd out. And the inning is over. Puerto Rico strands the runner at second base. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 left. To the 3rd inning we go. It is 1-0 China over Puerto Rico. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. China will send 9-1-2 to the plate, leading 1-0 against Gianna Mancha. Hu Xiaoyan, 2 out of 10, shows bunt, looks at a ball. And then Yan Xiyu and Xie Yue. Mancha. And we're going to have time called as Odalis Cordova wants her sunglasses. Mancha deals. There's a swing and a miss. On the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Xiaoyan, who had shown bunt, now swinging away. 1 run on 2 hits for China. No runs, 1 hit for Puerto Rico. Mancha has given up no walks, no strikeouts in this one. And Hu Xiaoyan getting her first look at Gianna Mancha. And the pitch comes in, shows bunt, pitch is low, 2-1. Corner infielders Garcia, who had been playing shortstop, did not play in yesterday's game. She's playing at 3rd base. Alana Rivera, who started last night's game against Italy, she's back there at short. That one misses low for ball 3. Outfield is straight away for the left-handed hitting Hu Xiaoyan. We saw China, they were attempting to basically play the slap and run game without much success in the early part of this tournament. Fouled away for strike 2. But yesterday in the game against Australia, they had a couple of big hits. I mentioned the hits from Ren Min and Shi Kai Lin. As you can see, some of the locations to those pitches, those first 3 accurately called. Last 2 in there for strike. Here's the payoff. Fouled away again. As Gianna Mancha trying to work that lower part of the strike zone. You see all those dots on the screen, low and away. And Xiaoyan, who looked like she was actually trying to pull on the last few swings. Off speed, and that's exactly why you throw that pitch. She had been out in front, and so why not pull the string even more to get the strikeout? That's the first strikeout for Gianna Mancha.
Number 25, Yan Siyu.
And Yan Siyu will step up to the plate. Siyu grounded back to the pitcher, and now she lines one to left center field. That's going to drop in front of Janelle Martinez, who plays it back in quickly. So Yan Siyu singles. That is the 2nd base hit for China. Mentioned and told you they had been struggling offensively.
Now batting number 10, Xie Yue.
In fact, coming into this game, they had been hitting only 187. That pitch is low and outside as Xie Yue takes the ball. She had shown bunt, but I mentioned they swung the bats a lot better yesterday against Australia, and sometimes you just need a little bit of confidence. Kaya Parnaby pitching a whale of a game for her side. That pitch catching the corner. It was a classic pitcher's duel for the first 7 innings. Parnaby versus Shai Inan. And then things fell apart for Australia. That pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike. There's 1 away. Yan Xiu, the runner at first base. As far as stealing has gone, China has only attempted 3. There's the pitch, and it's bunted. It's popped up, and it will land foul for strike 2. Told you they're hitting 187 as a team. That's 20 hits in 107 at-bats. And they have struck out 26 times and only walked 5 times. There's a swing and a miss. And there's another strikeout, so you can add to that total. 2 down. So make that 27 strikeouts.
Now batting number 55, Ren Min.
They have bunted, sacrifice bunted 5 times coming into this game. So you see, that's the approach they're taking. But here's Ren Min. This is one of the players that is, especially with 2 outs, not going to be bunting. She singled in the first inning and came around to score. Excuse me, that was Shia Yua that scored, but Ren Min hit a hot shot off the glove of Carla Claudio. That pitch is high, so the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. See some smiles in the dugout for China. That was something that had been absent until yesterday. Much looser, and there's a hot shot. Nice pick. Oh, and under the glove of Cordova. And everybody's going to be safe. Cordova going to her right. She got the glove on it, and when she pulled the hand up, the ball was still on the dirt. So we'll see how that gets scored. That has been ruled a base hit. So a single for Min. So Min has hit a ground ball that went off Claudio's glove for a single. This one goes off Cordova's glove for a single. And now Shi Kai Lin with 2 on and 2 out. Big spot for Gianna Mancha. That's a strike on the outside corner. Mancha has not thrown a first pitch strike to any of the hitters in this inning until now. Shi Kai Lin, sacrifice fly to deep left center field the first time. That one's fouled away. 0-2. Gianna Mancha getting her sign from Camille Ortiz. Starts the motion. Here it comes. And tried to get a chase on the outside corner. Did not. You can see Martinez shuffling around a little bit. Excuse me, Ortiz behind the plate. We talked about it in the last game between Japan and Canada. There's a swing and a foul. Yume Kiri Ishii, the catcher for Japan, is always shuffling back and forth, especially with the runner at second base. And I think that the reason they do that is to try to protect from the hitter receiving some information about the location. But we mentioned it before, it can actually distract the umpire. There's a pop up into shallow center field, and Martinez calls off Simon to make the catch, and the inning is over. So no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We're going to go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Castells de Estrada. It is China 1, Puerto Rico 0. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Hits. Puerto Rico, no runs on 1 hit. Bring the umbrella to the ballpark, Jay. There is no shade out there if you're in the regular part of the stadium. As Kathy Garcia slaps one back to Inan. It looked like she had caught it out of the air, but she made the throw to first anyway, and in both cases it would have been an out. And Garcia is retired. So the only question is it F1 or 1-3? 1 down. And now the top of the order, Nia Carter. She hit a deep fly ball to right field her first time. Now she tries to bunt, and it goes foul. That's a strike. Carter, who has swung the bat a lot better in the last 2 games. She had been 0 coming into last night's game against Puerto Rico, but then she got some sacrifice flies, 2 deep sacrifice flies. Hitting the ball on the screws. That pitch is outside. She had a double actually in the game prior to that. So she's 1 out of 10, now 1 out of 11 after having flied out in the first inning. Shai Inan throws one off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Have a look inside the Puerto Rico dugout. They were all smiles after the game yesterday. And that was a game that ran an emotional roller coaster. Even though they had been eliminated from the super round, they stumbled out of the gate. They lost their opening game to Netherlands. Two balls and 1 strike. 2 and 2 rather. That one is too low. Full count Puerto Rico, but they have recovered with their final 2 games. Alicia Ocasio pitching well against Australia, and then the victory last night against Italy. And that's outside for ball 4. Nia Carter is aboard with 1 away. There's the tying run for Puerto Rico. And Alana Rivera will step up to the plate.
Now batting for Team Puerto Rico, number 19, Alana Rivera.
Rivera, 22 years old. I mentioned she is attending University of South Florida. And Puerto Rico trying to clinch 5th place. They can do that with a win. There's a bunt fielded by the first baseman, Jashi, who fires to Jashin covering. And Carter moves to second on the sacrifice.
And the second out of the inning. Runner advances to second base.
So David Santos trying to move the runners over and give one of the best hitters in the lineup, Jenna Pratt, a chance to drive home Nia Carter, speedy on second base. Pratt flied to right field her first time with that wide open stance and that imposing bat waggle. With her back foot in the box, and that pitch is a strike on the inside corner. Oh no, excuse me, it hit Pratt, and that would explain why it was dropped by Shikailin. So Pratt is hit by a pitch. Yesterday Pratt was hit by a pitch and was not allowed to go to first base, but that was on a floating changeup that came in like an eephus pitch. She just didn't move. This one was looked like a fastball that had some good movement, and it just rode in and got her. And so Carter is at second, Pratt is at first, and Carla Claudio, the cleanup hitter, struck out her first time. She's got a very wide stance and looks at one down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Nia Carter, the runner on second base, she is there via a walk. The outfield is deep and straight away. Infielders are also deep. Claudio, 3 out of 14 after that first strikeout in the inning, in the first inning. There's a good pitch on the outside edge from Shai Inan. Inan digging at the dirt in front of the circle. Grabs that rosin. Inan, if she wasn't used to pitching in heat, she's gonna be after this week. There's the 1-1. A pop-up on the right side. Jashin shades her eyes from the sun and can't find it. The ball falls. In to score is Nia Carter. Headed to third is Jenna Pratt. And you could see that that was going to be trouble all the way on a pop-up. And this time Claudio runs it up to first base. She is there. That's probably going to be an error. But you could see right away that the second baseman, Shia Jashin, was struggling to find the ball in the sun. And so the game is tied 1-1. That would have been the third out of the inning. And here comes head coach Tang Cheng Dong. He's going to slowly walk out to the circle. Shainan and the rest of the team are going to congregate there. Meanwhile, Claudio and Pratt are going to go get some shade and perhaps some water. Anytime there's a break in the action, everybody's running off the field for the most part, except for the outfielders. There's Tang Chengdong discussing things with Shi Kailin. Shi Kailin, the captain, relaying messages back and forth. There are 2 down. It is tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as Carla Claudio hit that pop-up that Shi Jiaxin could not find. Dong Zushong was too far away to run in and help her out from right field. And so now the hitter is Camille Ortiz. Ortiz struck out in her first at bat. 2 down, 1st and 3rd, a run in, and Ortiz looks at a strike. And a pop-up that's going to go foul out of play. 0-2 on Ortiz, who had a big cut at that one. Well, they're going to give Claudio a single on that, and I think that's fair because that ball was popped up into the sun, and you could see right away that Jiaxin was going to have trouble with it. So not an ordinary play, and so Claudio is going to get an RBI on that as well. There's a foul ball. Good base running by Pratt as well to cross all the way to 3rd with 2 outs. You have to run at the crack of the bat or the ping of the bat, whatever sound you want to assign to that sound. Camille Ortiz with an 0-2 count. Swing and a miss on a good off-speed pitch, and that gets Ortiz and will retire the side. So Ortiz has struck out twice, but Puerto Rico scores a run to tie it. They get a run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. And we will take a 3-minute heat break here as we move to the 4th inning. It is tied at 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.Sport. We get ready to go to the the top of the fourth inning with Puerto Rico and China tied at 1. And it's Puerto Rico, the number 2 ranked in the world on the WBSC Konami Women's Softball World Ranking, which tracks a country's entire national team performance in all WBSC sanctioned and international competitions over a 4-year period. That includes U15 all the way up to the senior national team, which we have here. And Puerto Rico has had such excellent success with their under 18 team. As you see, Shi Jiaxin foul that first pitch away from Gianna Mancha. Puerto Rico ranked number 2. China ranked number 17. And we've seen the 8 teams here. Of course, obviously, USA is ranked number 1 in the WBSC Konami Women's Softball World Ranking. Puerto Rico springing ahead of Japan thanks to their U18 team to number 2. But Japan obviously going to go for the gold in this one as Jiaxin strikes out. Japan is ranked 3rd.
Jiaxin is the first out of the inning. Now batting number 15.
And when you look at the rest of the rankings, you have Chinese Taipei at number 4. Canada, of course, is here at number 5. Italy, number 6. There's a swing and a miss by Wang Bei. Strike 1. Mexico also not in this tournament. They are 7th. Netherlands is here. They are number 8. And Netherlands, of course, going to play for the bronze tomorrow against Canada. Number 5. So it'll be number 5 versus number 8 for the bronze. And number 1 ranked USA versus number 3 ranked Japan for the gold. Wang Bei hits a ground ball on a couple of hops to Cordova, who stays down on it. Nearly threw it a bit wide of Claudio at first, but makes the play for the second quick out here in the 4th inning. When you think the whole point system, the way that international tournaments are ranked, and you can even get points for playing friendlies against one another, the whole idea is to essentially use positive reinforcement to instigate movement on the part of the federations and the different leagues around the world to try to force more development, find more players, raise the overall level, and get more visibility, and ultimately, of course, make softball and baseball, by extension, a permanent fixture in the Olympics, which, of course, they will return in 2028 after going on hiatus again in 2024. Li Jiaxi is the hitter. 0-2 the count. That one is high. There are many Olympians here. Obviously, China has been to the Olympics. Their national team took the USA to the wire in 1996, winning the silver medal after getting shut out in that final game. That's a strike 3 call on the outside corner. And that will end the inning. A quick inning for Gianna Mancha. 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. She has 4 strikeouts in the game. And we will go to the bottom of the 4th inning with China and Puerto Rico tied at 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.Sport. One more half inning than Shai Inan has. Inan is going to deal with 6, 7, and 8. Odalis Cordova, who looks at a strike, followed by Janelle Martinez and Madison Simon. Cordova singled in the 2nd inning. She's got that upright stance, holds the bat vertically, and then brings it back as the pitch comes in and swings away and hits a high fly ball to left field. Yan Si-yu right on the line, straddling it perfectly, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. And now Janelle Martinez will step up to the plate. See the replay on that. Cordova just got under it. We saw her hit a ball very deep yesterday. Very nearly left the building. And Shai Inan is leaving the circle, and she's going to come out of the game. And what an incredible work week she has had. She's going to come out having thrown, I believe, 49 pitches, and Wei Yu Chen, 20-year-old left-hander, is going to come in and take over things here. So Inan goes 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Somewhat strange mid-inning pitching change. But after throwing 150 pitches yesterday, 69 the day before, 57 before that, and 81 before that, you know, having thrown another 49 or so, it's going to be Wei Yu Chen to take over. Wei Yu Chen, the 20-year-old left-hander, has seen some action this week, and like the rest of Team China, her performance has steadily improved. The first pitch she threw was hit out of the ballpark by Marta Gasparotto of Italy. That was on Monday night in the game that China lost 6-0. It was one of 3 home runs that Italy hit against Chinese pitching. The other 2 were off Shai Yinan. But in 4 2/3 innings total throughout the week, she's allowed 6 hits, 6 runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Mentioned the 3 triples and 2 home runs. In a way, she's kind of similar to the Netherlands young pitcher, Jada Girigori. She's young, she's got a good arm, but it's shown this week that she's not used to getting punished for leaving pitches in the middle of the plate. Last year in Valencia, she was effective. And we will see what happens now with 1 away, and Janelle Martinez, the hitter. Shai Yinan's day is done. Martinez sacrificed in her only previous plate appearance. That pitch misses outside. Wei Yu Chen last year had a slightly different windup. I can only count on this because I remember seeing it. She had a bit of a rhythm and everything was timed. This one this year is much more deliberate. There's almost like a deep breath in between. And that was a good off-speed pitch, but it was too low and Martinez laid off it. So Shai Yinan, her day is done after 48 pitches. And there's a strike. 2-1 to Janelle Martinez. It's a tie game. China, of course, things looked dire for them earlier this week. They have a lot to play for in this game. They are trying to avoid being one of the bottom 2 teams. Their win against Australia certainly helped. There's a line shot over the leap of Xia Yue into left field, where Yan Siyu will pick it up and get it back in. And so Janelle Martinez lines a clean single to left field. And now Madison Simon will step up. Martinez taking that turn at first base. Head coach David Santos looking on. Madison Simon, 1 for 5 coming into the game. She is 0 for 1. That pitch is up and in. Simon watches it go by. Shi Kai-lin out of the crouch. You can hear the energy from the Puerto Rico side. They were singing and chanting and banging out rhythms on the gates of the dugout yesterday in that high energy affair with Italy. There's a strike called on the outside corner. Puerto Rico has not attempted to steal at all in this game. There's a hole up the middle with Yue back at short, and a swing and a miss on an off-speed away, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. China has 3 pitchers on their roster, and we've seen mostly Shai Yinan, of course. Yinan throwing 23 innings in total. This one is high. The runner is going. The throw to second base is not in time and gets into center field. And Martinez is going to try to go to the third. The throw there is not in time. And so
to third base is Martinez.
Stolen base and a throwing error is going to put Martinez in scoring position with only 1 out. I was half expecting to see a request for a video review just because. Looks like there was something in left field. So the scheduled hitter, Madison Simon, well, she's still up there with a 2-ball and 2-strike count. Martinez on third base. Not sure what we're waiting for now. Neither is Renzo Ruiz, and he says play. And holds up the fingers. The count is indeed 2-2. Infield is playing halfway, it looks like, with 1 out. And that's outside. So a full count. Simon being selective. Madison wants to get something that will get through the infield or be a fly ball deep enough to score. There are pretty good arms in the outfield, so it's going to have to be a deep fly ball to get Martinez home from third. A full count. And she chased ball 4, but is lucky enough to have gotten a piece to foul it away. And the count remains 3-2. A little bit over aggressive there. We talked about Puerto Rico. They came into last night's game hitting 197. Well, in that game, they raised their team average to 250 with the 13 knocks that they got in the game against Italian pitching. 3-2. There's a ground ball pulled foul. Simon really looked like she was swinging down on that ball, trying to hit a big bouncer, something that would bounce over the head of one of the infielders. Wang Bei gets the ball back in from the left fielder, Yan Xiu. Little chat with Li Jiaxi in the circle. Jiaxi backing towards first base to get in position. Full count on Madison Simon with Janelle Martinez on third, the tie-breaking run here in the bottom of the 4th. And the bat broke on a foul ball. I have never seen that before. Metal bat snapped in half. You know, I want to say when somebody earlier in this game hit a ground ball off the end of the bat and it had a very strange sound to it. I wonder if that was the same bat, but watch this. Right off the end, and that thing snapped like a toothpick. And so the count is still full, 3-2. Madison Simon, a new piece of metal or composite, whatever the material is. And she swings at an outside pitch, but pops it up down the right field line. Dong Tzuchuan makes the catch. The runner does not attempt to score, as the ball was not hit far enough to the outfield. So it's the second out of the inning. But Simon probably should have let that pitch go by. However, it's very tough to read. It's a rise ball coming up. You don't know if it's going to drop at the last moment. And Simon protecting. Good throw by Dong Tzuchuan. I mentioned they have good arms in the outfield. And that throw was on the money. And so now Kathiria Garcia, who grounded to the pitcher her first time against Wei Yu Chen. And that's her game, trying to run up and slap one somewhere. But the left side of the infield is playing back, so she's going to have to slap it pretty hard to get it up enough in the air to get it over the head of Wang Bei or Xie Yue. Meanwhile, time is called. Wei Yu Chen kicking up the dirt on the mound, and Li Jiaxi at first base, helping to pick some dirt out of there. So 0-1. And now 0-2 is Garcia trying to slap that ball. That was a good pitch from Wei Yu Chen. It was down and away. She knows what Garcia is trying to do. So rather than give her something up that she can lift over the head of the infielders, that pitch was spinning down. 0-2. And also not a bad idea to go off the outside edge. Garcia chased that pitch once. Why not see if she'll do it twice? Runner at third base is Janelle Martinez. She singled, stole second, and went to third on an error. And there's a line drive right to the shortstop, Xie Yue. A good piece of hitting by Garcia, but the ball was placed perfectly for Yue to pick it out of the air. So, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. And at the end of 4 complete, we're still tied at 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.Sports. Top of the fifth inning here in Castellons de Estrada. China scored a run in the first inning. Puerto Rico scored a run in the third, and that's where we are right now. Dong Tsushuan, Hu Xiaoyan, and Yan Ziyu, 8, 9, and 1 in the order. And that pitch is in for a strike from Gianna Mancha. Mancha has allowed the 1 run on 4 hits. And there's a swing and a line drive, base hit to right field on a hop. As Carter thought about trying to throw the ball to first base behind Dong Tsushuan, but then thought better of it. That's the 5th base hit for China in this game.
Now batting for Team China, number 52, Hu Xiaoyan.
And Hu Xiaoyan looks at a strike. Mancha has 4 strikeouts. Hu Xiaoyan is one of them, showing bunt. Pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1. We're knotted at 1 here in the top of the 5th, getting to the later innings. We're going to see who's going to be able to push a bunt across. As that pitch comes in for a strike, 1-2. Dong Tsushuan leading things off with a clean single to right field. China had 2 hits and a run in the first inning. That run coming on a sac fly. There's a big chopper up the middle. Cordova tags the runner, and that's all they will get. As Xiaoyan too quick to get down the line, so she reaches, and 4 unassisted on the put out for Tsushuan. 1 away, and Xiaoyan now the runner at first for Yan Ziyu, the top of the lineup. Ziyu singled in the 3rd inning. As you get another look at that, pitch to Ziyu is low for a ball. Cordova, she had that 1 ball that hit off of the webbing of her glove and stayed on the ground, but other than that, she has been lights out as a defensive second baseman. And this one missed low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is a game for Puerto Rico. If they can win it, they would secure their spot in 5th place. That ball popped in the air to shallow center field. Madison Simon makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. And if China wins this game, then we have to wait and see what will happen tonight. That's the short answer of it. There is a scenario in which we're going to have to use the TQB, the team quality balance, in order to figure out the placement of the last 4 teams. There's a big chopper to Cordova at second. She stays with a tough bounce and makes the play to first. So after the leadoff single, a couple of ground balls and a fly ball to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Castellons de Estrada. China 1, Puerto Rico 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Welcome back to Castellons de Estrada. Tim Collins with you on the final day of Super Round and placement play here at the 17th WBSC Women's Softball World Cup. And it's the top of the order against the 20-year-old left-hander Wei Yu Chen, Nia Carter, Alana Rivera, and Jenna Pratt. Carter flied to right field and then walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Strike 2 as Wei Yu Chen, I mentioned, she has seen her week improve. Started off very rough with the first pitch she threw, but since then it's been steady improvement. 0-2 to Nia Carter. That's outside for a ball. Of course, China and Puerto Rico played in the Valencia group stage. So these 2 teams have seen each other. too. There's a little chopper left side, and it gets past Bay, and Shia has it roll up the side of her arm, and that's when she lost the play. Probably going to be scored a single, but we will find out shortly. And the leadoff base runner, and we're going to have a request, perhaps. Let's see, maybe we're going to have a change. As Liu Caihong is heading over to the bullpen. And so Wei Yu Chen is coming out of the game, and guess who's coming back into the game? Shai Yinan. Wei Yu Chen is going to be removed from this game. So Shai Yinan, who threw 150 pitches yesterday, threw 48 earlier today, was removed, we thought, to give her, you know, the rest of the day off. Wei Yu Chen faced 4 hitters. She got 2 outs, gave up a hit, and now this leadoff hit. And here we see Shai Yinan again. So Yu Chen goes 2/3 of an inning. Not sure I've seen that before. By the way, that at bat for Nia Carter was ruled a base hit, so 2 hits allowed for Wei Yu Chen. No strikeouts, no walks. And so Shai Yinan's day is not, in fact, done. She's got to go back to work. She threw 150 pitches yesterday, 69 the day before that, 57 the day before that, 81 before that. You guys can get out your calculators and figure out how much that is. And she threw 48, not yesterday, but last inning. And this bunt is popped up, it's caught, and no throw to first base. So Alana Rivera bunts to the first baseman, Li Jiaxi. And that's the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Team Puerto Rico, number 10, Jenna Pratt.
So now Jenna Pratt. Pratt was hit by a pitch her last time. You know, before the game, some of us were chatting about how many pitches some of the other teams have thrown. That's collectively as a team. And I think the USA was somewhere around 300 or so, 350. I might be getting that wrong, but Shai Yinan by herself, prior to the 49 or so pitches she threw before she's come back in again, she by herself this week has thrown 357 pitches. This one hits Pratt again, and she was waiting to get permission from the umpire to go to first base. I mentioned that she had been called back last night, but she's awarded first. She's been hit twice, 2 on. Nia Carter is the runner at second base. Pratt the runner at first, and now Carla Claudio, who singled to drive home the lone Puerto Rico run. And her single was a pop-up that was dropped. Her last 2 balls put in play have been pop-ups that were dropped. One of them she ran, the other one she didn't, famously. And so now 2 on and 1 out. That pitch is low. Want to know on Carla Claudio with Nia Carter on second and Jenna Pratt on first. A chopper to the right side, flip to second, and that's all they will get as Carter, way off the bag at third, has to scamper back. That was a good job by Shia Yua, the shortstop, to make sure that Carter would go back, but also not to throw the ball and allow the trail runner So Pratt is out on the 4-6 force. There are 2 down. And Claudio is aboard on the fielder's choice. And now Camille Ortiz. Ortiz is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. First and third. And that pitch missed from Shai Inan. And Shi Kai-Lin calls time. And goes out and chats with Shai Inan. Inan looking out towards the scoreboard. But talk about working hard. I would imagine when head coach Tang Chang-dong took Inan out of the game the first time that he would have told her that she's going back in after a little bit of a break. One ball, no strikes. That one is high, 2-0. Well, we saw when Cuba was in the Valencia group last year, Yilian Tornes threw something along the lines of 57 innings over the entire week. She pitched every game, and it seemed like she lost them all by 1 run. It was very frustrating for her as Cuba was turned away in the final game after losing to Netherlands. Time is called, and they're going to intentionally walk Camille Ortiz to load the bases. That is strange. I mean, on a 3-0 count, I guess that's why. And so Odalis Cordova will get to hit with the bases loaded. The inning started with a single off the bat of Mia Carter. Then Rivera popped out. Pratt was hit by a pitch and then erased on a fielder's choice. Ortiz with the intentional walk, who's now going to be replaced by the temporary runner. Pratt will go and run for Camille Ortiz, of course, Ortiz, the catcher. So now the runners are Carter, Claudio, and Pratt, with Cordova at the plate. 2 outs in the inning. That's a strike. Nothing in 1. Cordova is 1 out of 2. She singled to drive home run in second and flied out. Bases loaded. Popped up. Shi Kai-Lin gives it a look and makes the catch in foul territory off to the left. And the inning is over. Puerto Rico strands the bases loaded. No runs on 1 hit.
Puerto Rico scores no runs.
There were no errors and 3 left on base. We're going to the 6th inning, tied at 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.
Remind you to stay hydrated as much as possible throughout the day and throughout these heat hours.
Proprio manuale, e quindi ci sono delle azioni specifiche per quanto riguarda l'attività che svolgiamo qui in base ad ogni singolo ragazzo, cioè proprio una preparazione quasi individuale. E poi c'è il benessere di stare in compagnia, di stare in gruppo, di portare avanti questi laboratori. L'orto comporta attività energiche, quindi i ragazzi si possono pure sfogare, fanno diversi movimenti, si sta all'aria aperta, sono convintissima di tutto quello che è il benessere che deriva dal verde e lo vedo anche qui.
2nd of July in Valencia. That was in the playoff round. And that was a 2-1 victory for Puerto Rico, as Alicia Ocasio was able to pitch Puerto Rico into the final round here, earning the ticket to this Women's Softball World Cup final here in Castellones de Estrada. Ren Min, the designated player, looks at a ball. Min in this game is 2 for 2. She has singled twice. China in the B group stage in Valencia, Spain, played very well. They defeated Netherlands and they defeated Cuba. They also defeated South Africa, but then they came back and lost to Puerto Rico, and Netherlands came back to earn their spot and get revenge. But China came away being the wild card. The other wild card being, of course, Italy. Italy, the host country, would have been invited regardless, but then they placed 3rd in their group as well. It started with 18 teams a year ago. And the 8 that made it were the 2 top from each group, plus the 2 wild cards of China and Italy. And China has played well the last few days, and Ren Min drives that one to the gap. She has rounded first and is heading to second base, and that's a leadoff double against Gianna Mancha. Min is 3 for 3. Starting to see a little bit more of the power, some more solid contact even in this game. Yesterday the bats started coming alive for China, as clearly they felt that they hadn't shown what they could do as of yet. Right now David Santos is going to come out of the dugout and into the circle to have a chat with Gianna Mancha. We are tied at 1. It's the 6th inning. Puerto Rico trying to match their best finish ever at 5th. If they can win this game, they will do that. That's going to be it for Gianna Mancha. She goes 6+ a batter. Gives up 6 hits, 1 run so far. She's responsible for the base runner Min at second base. And we'll take a short break during this pitching change. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.Sport. And so Alicia Ocasio is going to come out of the bullpen for David Santos and into the circle. Gianna Mancha, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run so far, no walks, 4 strikeouts. She threw 68 pitches, 47 were strikes. And so the scheduled hitter now, Shi Kai-lin, is waiting on deck. She has hit a sacrifice fly to drive home the only run for China in this game, and then flied out 0 for 1. Ocasio pitched the final 3 innings against Italy last night and got the win, gave up 2 unearned runs. Those were zombie runner runs. And so she's going to try to tend to the landing spot in the circle and keep the runner, Ren Min, pictured at the lower portion of your screen there, clapping her hands at second base. Shi Kai-lin.
Now batting for Team China, number 7, Shi Kai-lin.
And a bunt. I believe there was a double switch, and Tatiana Roman is also in the game. We'll figure all that out in the next half inning. As Kai-lin trying to bunt, fouled that away, 1 strike to count. And tries to bunt that one again. Alimali Lopez is also the new catcher. So Lopez is in the game. Oh, 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Quick pitches from Alicia Ocasio to get an important first out, and keeping Ren Min at second base. Now Shi Jiaxin will step up to the plate. And a swing and a miss on that one. 4 consecutive strikes from Ocasio. And a bunt is popped up. That's going to be out of the reach of Lopez. And strike 2, 5 consecutive. So Ocasio came into the game yesterday and pitched the 7th inning. And then the game went to extra innings. Puerto Rico scored a run. Italy then was able to match that. Of course, that's with the zombie runner on second base. But then in the top of the 9th, Puerto Rico scored 3. Italy was only able to get there 1. And that's a called 3rd strike in the outside corner to Shi Jiaxin. And there are 2 down. Jiaxin just stood there for a moment in disbelief and goes back to the dugout with her shoulders slumped down. So 2 down as Ocasio has thrown 6 pitches and 6 strikes to get 2 outs. This one, however, is outside to Wang Bei. Bei is 0 for 2.
Now batting number 15, Wang Bei.
And here it comes. That's outside, an off-speed pitch. I told you in that game in which Puerto Rico won against China, it was Ocasio who pitched a complete game, a 2-1 victory. There's a strike called. Two balls and a strike. Swing a foul. And now the count is even, 2-2. So Tatiana Roman is in the game. She's in center field. She went in for Camille Ortiz's spot. And then Alimali Lopez was double switched in the number 8 spot. So Madison Simon is out of the game. Ocasio is just the new pitcher. She will not enter the batting order in any way. And the pitch is outside for ball. 3-2 on Wang Bei. Li Jiaxi is on deck. Ren Min doubled to start the inning. And that spelled the end of the day as Ocasio wants to remove the tape from her hand, or reapply the tape to her hand, which she has under her glove hand. Full count with 2 down. Here it comes. And a little off speed, floated, and a diving catch behind second by Odalis Cordova saves a run. Wong Bei trying to bloop one over the head of Ocasio and get it into center field, but Odalis Cordova says no. And the inning is over. Cordova, another fine defensive play. And the inning comes to an end. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. To the bottom of the 6th inning, we are tied at 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Winding down, home plate umpire Renzo Ruiz has said play. And we're down to 10 seconds as Shainan back into the circle. And it's going to be Janelle Martinez who now asks for time with the clock at 4 seconds. And Shainan back in there. And that pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0. Martinez sacrificed in the 2nd inning, singled off of Wei Yu Chen. And then we'll get another look at Shai Yinan. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Puerto Rico, this is their 12th time in the Women's Softball World Cup. They finished 5th at the World Games as well in 2022. There's a little blooper off the fists caught by Xie Yue at short, 1 away. I mentioned they finished 5th in 2022. They also finished 5th in 2018. That's the last time there was a Women's Softball World Cup. Obviously a little bit of a hiatus due to the 2020 pandemic. But prior to 2018, the last time they finished that high was 1986. And here's Ali Mali Lopez. And she looks at a strike. Prior to this tournament, they did some preparations by going and playing in the Catalunya Cup, which is in Sant Boi in Barcelona. That ball launched foul off the bat of Lopez. Lopez entered the game last inning in the double switch when Ocasio came in, as Li Jiaxi wants to get a bit of that rosin bag. 0-2 to Ali Mali Lopez. And Puerto Rico also won the gold medal in the Central American and Caribbean Games. There's a line drive base hit in center field for Ali Mali Lopez. She has swung the bat this week. In last night's game, she was 0 for 5, but she had come in being one of the top hitters for Puerto Rico. And she got the barrel to that one and lines a base hit. That's the 6th hit of the game. And the bunt from Kathy Garcia goes foul. 0-1. We are tied at 6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Shai Yinan, who pitched the first 3 2/3, there's a bunt, popped foul, and just out of the reach of Wong Bei. It's a foul ball. It was not touched by Bei. That was wise decision on her part. She was diving for the ball, realized that she wasn't going to get to it, and it looked like she kind of angled her glove to make sure that she wouldn't touch it before it hits the ground, or while it was in fair territory at the very least. If she touches it in foul ground, it's foul regardless. But Garcia, after 2 failed bunt attempts, is 0-2. She's also 0-4-2. One the tie. There's a swing and a miss. The ball was dropped, but first base is occupied, so Lopez on first base, and that's a strikeout for Garcia. 2 down. That's 4 strikeouts for Yinan.
There's the second out of the inning. Garcia is the
First since she re-entered the game.
Now batting for Team Puerto Rico.
Would not surprise me if we see Wei Yu Chen again in this game. And it would also not surprise me if the game goes 14 innings and Shai Inan pitches all 14 after this. She had her break already today. There's a fly ball off the end of the bat to shallow center field, and a diving catch by Hu Xiaoyan to rob Nia Carter of a base hit. China has played spectacular defense all week, and that's another example. Hu Xiaoyan get a good read on that pop fly. And she laid out and grabbed that ball before it hit the ground. So no runs, one hit, no errors, one left. We are going to the 7th inning. Still tied, about to get a pinch hitter. And I think that is indeed the case. Liu Xiaomin is going to pinch hit. Xiaomin, a left-hand hitter. There are only 2 other position players on the bench for China. You have Hui Yuanyuan, who also has played some first base, and Chen Ting, who is used as a pinch runner. Liu Caihong is a pitcher.
Number 20, Liu Xiaomin.
So Liu Xiaomin pinch hitting for Li Jiaxi, who was 0 for 2. And the first pitch she looks at is outside and low for a ball. 1-0 from Alicia Ocasio. Ocasio doing the fireman work, the relief coming in to try to close down the end of the game. The only problem is Puerto Rico has not been able to score. And we may see a situation as we are in the top of the 7th inning here, where we're going to enter extra innings again. If neither team scores, we're going to get bonus softball. That one is on the corner for a strike. 2-1. 1 run on 6 hits and 1 error for China. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for Puerto Rico. And Xiaomin showed bunt and then pulled it back to foul that one away. The count is even 2-2. China scored their run. They came out swinging in the first inning. Shi Yue lined a single. Ren Min hit a hard ground ball off the glove of Carla Claudio that was ruled a single, and then Shi Kailin drove a deep fly ball, and when you think about it, good running catch. There's a strikeout from Liu Xiaomin for the first out. Excellent running catch in center field from Madison Simon to haul in a long drive off the bat of Shi Kailin. It was a sacrifice fly to bring home a run, but if he doesn't catch that ball, China would potentially have scored another run, and to this point, that would have been enough. As Puerto Rico has reverted to struggling offensively in this game. Got to give credit Shai Inan. She has been worked hard, but she has answered the call. She has not really blown away the hitters. There's a pop-up to short for the second out. She's walked some batters, talking about Shai Inan, but she's been able to make the big pitches when she's needed to. And no matter what, she has
number 52,
had to dig deep this entire week, throwing over 400 pitches just by herself. Hu Xiaoyan taps one foul. Last year in Valencia, it was very formulaic for China. Tang Chengdong was always using Inan for 3 innings. That one is a strike called, 0-2 on Hu Xiaoyan. There was Inan for 3 innings, Wei Yu Chen for 2 innings, and then Wang Lan for the end of the game. There might have been some variance in there, but that was the game plan, and he stuck with it. And it hasn't worked this week, and so his remedy has been to just leave Inan in there the whole time. Here's Xiaoyan fouling away that offering. There are 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. Puerto Rico will have 2, 3, and 4 coming up as they try to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th if it remains tied. And it will, as the swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. The tag applied by Lopez. And Ocasio makes quick work of China in the top of the 7th with a couple of strikeouts. To the bottom of the 7th inning. Puerto Rico is going to try to walk it off as this game is tied at 1. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error for China. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for Puerto Rico. Shai Yinan is going to throw her 70th pitch, but she's basically had 2 outings in this game. She was removed for 4 batters. And the first pitch spins inside to Alana Rivera. Rivera has walked, sacrificed, and bounced out. Officially 0 for 1. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Rivera, Pratt, and Carla Claudio. There's a strike on the outside corner. Tied at 1. The runs coming in the 1st inning for China. The 3rd inning for Puerto Rico. And here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Alana Rivera. Came into this game with a couple of hits. Yesterday, she hit a ball off of the wall in left field against Italy. Showing good power. Part of the game, you have to be careful. There's a bouncer foul. Not to start swinging for the fences. And it's so tempting to just say, hey, let's go hit one and go home. And that's how you end up with long extra inning games. Despite the zombie runner rule, which if this inning goes scoreless will go into effect in the top half of the 8th inning with the runner placed on second base. But Rivera trying to get on base, get something started. That pitch is down and in, nearly hit her. And the count is now 2-2. Renzo Ruiz is going to dust off home plate as there was a bit of a storm kicked up on that delivery. Shai Yinan with a 2-2 count to Alana Rivera. And she reaches out to foul it away. Still 2-2. Puerto Rico scored their run in the 3rd inning. Nia Carter walked, was sacrificed to second. And Carla Claudio eventually got a base hit. That base hit was a pop-up to second that was dropped. This one is high. Ball 3. 62 miles an hour. We saw some higher readings than that yesterday, I think, in the game when Shai Yinan was out there. But given how many pitches she's thrown, it's impressive that she's still showing some good velocity and just misses down and away. Quality pitch off the outside edge. And Yinan, I mentioned, never shows any emotion whatsoever.
Now coming back for Puerto Rico.
And now time is called. Here comes Tang Cheng-dong. Let's see what he's going to do. You have Jenna Pratt coming up to the plate. Pratt was hit twice and flied out. And the infield gathered in the circle. Rivera is the winning run at first base. So Puerto Rico, they generally speaking, for sure not with Pratt, are not going to be bunting here, but you never know. This is probably what part of the discussion is. Some head nods, and Tang Cheng-dong will head back to the dugout across on the first base side. The infielders will go back to position. That's Bay manning third base. Shia Yua at second. Shi-Jashi is at Yua is at short. Jashi is second. And Jashi went back to first base after Liu Xiaomin pinch hit for her. So the defensive alignment is the same as it has been all game. Jenna Pratt with a chance to win the game. Runner on first base, nobody out. She shows bunt and gets down the bunt, and a collision between Inan and Jashi, and everybody is safe as Li Jiaxi, slow to get up. Perhaps she rolled over her left ankle. She's still on the ground on her knees, and out comes the trainer. So miscommunication between Li Jiaxi and Shai Inan, and Puerto Rico is going to have runners on first and second with nobody out. Jiaxi now finally stands up as you see the replay. Watch Jiaxi, she was there, and Shai Inan, boy, you know, Inan's been out there for so long. And this is the part of the day that's the hottest part of the day, perhaps a mental lapse, but that is a very understandable one. Both of them going for the ball, and Jiaxi is now back on 2 feet. Dusts herself off. She got a little bit of treatment from the trainer. And so a momentary pause in the action. Meanwhile, David Santos had a chat with Alana Rivera, the winning run on second base. She's there with 2 outs. Pratt will be there with at first. And Carla Claudio. Now this is the same situation we had with Rivera on second and Pratt on first. That Claudio hit that single before it got removed from video review. So I'm sure both runners are going to be extra careful to make sure not to remove their foot even remotely close. So that probably is going to put a damper on any attempt to steal. There's a bunt and it's foul. If you know you're going to try to steal, but you know that there's the specter of the video review looming in the background, you know, if you're on first base especially, not that this is the situation where they're going to do a double steal, but just generally speaking, if there's a runner on first with a right-handed pitcher, you can't really see when the ball comes out of the hand. And so you're just timing it, and if they check on the video review and you're a millimeter too early, it just negates the upside of even trying to steal. I wonder if that is going into the team's thinking as Claudio fails the second time to get the bunt down. It's strike 2. But Claudio, who drove home the game's only run for Puerto Rico, now having missed the bunt twice in the hole 0-2, there's nobody out. And a foul on a pitch down and in. That's the pitch that she had struck out on earlier in the game. Claudio struck out in the first inning on exactly that pitch, and Shai Inan went back to it. Claudio singled in the third to drive home the run, reached on a fielder's choice. That was against Wei Yu Chen. And the pitch. That's outside. Good take. Close pitch. Shai Inan touching 66 with that delivery, so she's throwing as hard as she ever does, even after the 420 or so pitches she's thrown this week. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Off speed. Claudio rolls it foul. We'll do it again. Alana Rivera is the winning run. She's out on second base. Jenna Pratt at first. Her run does not matter. Claudio trying to be the hero in this one. Shai Inan has had the thankless job of being out there for more than 400 pitches this entire week. She has thrown very well. The 1-2 pitch to Carla Claudio. Another off-speed rolled foul. She tried that one down and in. And like I mentioned, the most emotion Inan ever shows is just a deep sigh after a foul ball. After that win yesterday against Australia, she clapped her hands twice, exactly twice. And that was it. Turned and ran to the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Winning run on second base, nobody out. The pitch. A line drive center field. It's going to stay up and get caught by Hu Xiaoyan. Alana Rivera back to the bag quickly. Good base running. Claudio hit it hard. And that's the irony. The last two balls she popped up were dropped. This one she hits on a line and it's out number one. And so now
batting for Puerto Rico, number 33,
Tatiana Roman, who came in to play defense last inning when Ocasio was brought in and Alimali Lopez went behind the plate, removing Camille Ortiz from the game. This is her first at bat. And she slaps one foul, strike one. Well, if you're Cheyenne, you can see a way through this. This would have been Camille Ortiz's spot. Ortiz, who had been previously intentionally walked despite having struck out twice in the game. They saw the home run that she hit last night. Inan communicating with her shortstop, Shia Yue. One strike. The winning run is on second base. And the pitch. That's down and away. And for a hitter like Roman, who likes to run and slap, that's exactly where Inan wants to throw that ball. Make it hard for her to lift something over the infield and make it something that will be pounded into the ground. So will Roman try to bounce one over the head of Wang Bei? Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's on the corner, 1-2. Shai Inan keeps throwing good pitches. Her jersey has come slightly untucked. Standing out there in the heat. She had a 5-batter break in this inning in which she was relieved by Wei Yu Chen. There's the line drive caught by Wang Bei, the throw back to second base, and that's a double play. And we are going to extra innings for the second day in a row. This time Alana Rivera got caught off second base, and Bei very quickly got the throw to Shi Jiaxin, who went in behind to cover, and that's going to go as a 5-4 double play to end the inning. And now we go to extra innings, which means the extra inning runner rule on second base is going to go into effect. The tiebreaker rules. We'll be right back. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup live on GameTime.sport. China. Well, we are about to begin another game that will go to extra innings. And as you can see, the extra inning rule, tiebreaker inning. After the 7 regulation innings, every inning will start with a runner placed on second. That is a runner that was retired in the previous inning but was somehow brought back to life magically in this inning. Therefore, a zombie runner, word I like to use for that. And for China, that means Hu Xiaoyan will be placed on second base. And the top of the order, Yan Siyu, Xia Yue, and Ren Min will come to bat. against Alicia Ocasio. Ocasio has seen this movie before. This is exactly what happened yesterday. She came in one inning earlier today. Yesterday she came in the 7th inning, pitched a scoreless frame, and then had to pitch 2 more. In both of the frames that she pitched, Italy was able to bunt the runner over and get that run in. It's very difficult to defend that, but Ocasio can get the strikeouts, but you know for sure that China is going to be looking to bunt and to defend against the bunt. That's the strategy. Let's see what Puerto Rico is going to try to do here. With He Xiaoyan on second base. Nobody out, top of the 8th, tied at 1. And Ocasio deals. There's the bunt. It's grabbed at third by Garcia. She hesitated ever so slightly, but was able to make the play. That was almost a mistake to allow a second base runner. So Xiaoyan is at third base after the sacrifice off the bat of Yan Ziyu. 5-4 goes the put out, and there's 1 away. And now Xie Yu are going to try to flip the ball somewhere and drive home a run. Looks like the infield's going to kind of stay back. They're assuming that 1 run will score and counting on the fact that they think they can do the same in the bottom half of this inning, Puerto Rico. The key to getting through an inning like this is to limit the damage. The bunt is predictable, but here, Xie Yu, 1 hit in 3 at-bats, swings away, and the pitch is swung on and missed, 1-1. And you can hear the cheering and sound coming from the Puerto Rico dugout. Ocasio, in there since the 6th, has struck out 4. That one just missed that outer edge, trying to get one coming back in. Looked like maybe a little slider, curveball, something that would come back and nip that outside corner. Just missing 2 balls and a strike. Xiaoyan, the go-ahead run at third. There's 1 out here in the 8th. That one did come back and catch the corner. The count even, 2-2. Yeah, Alana Rivera at short is deep, and Cordova shaded towards the second base bag. She's basically in the base path between first and second, so halfway. And a foul back here. 2-2. Big pitch coming, 2-2. Ocasio looking for the strikeout. And a good job of Xie Yu just to flip the bat head out there and try to make contact. Yu is one of the better hitters on this team. I mentioned she got that base hit. She came into the game 3 for 12. And she has continued exactly at that same pace, going 1 for 3 so far. Now a curveball just missed a bit low. And it's a full count now. Puerto Rican fans sitting in the sun, cheering on their team. As we get a good look at the atmosphere here in Castellones de Estrada. The payoff, a ground ball base hit through the middle, and China will take the lead as Xiaoyan comes home to score. Xie Yu reaches out and pokes it for an RBI single. She is now at first base with 1 out, and China leads 2-1. China mentioned that they lost 2-1 to Puerto Rico in the B group stage. That is, of course, an unearned run, and now Ren Min. Ren Min has singled twice and doubled, and a big swing there. Late on the delivery, Min with that short, compact swing. She has a nice, easy, relaxed movement and surprising power. She can surprise you. And there's a line drive down the right field line. Ren Min is 4 for 4, and this is extra bases. Around third, Xie Yu being waved to the plate. She will score. The throw from Carter went over the head of Cordova, and that's an easy triple for Ren Min. And China now has a 3-1 lead. Ren Min with 2 singles, a double, and a triple. And now Shi Kai-lin, still only one out. China finally able to capitalize. That is their 8th. One ball, no strikes. Kai-lin drove home the first run. That was back in the first inning. She hit a fly ball to deep left center field. It was run down by Madison Simon for a nice catch, but it was also a sacrifice fly. There's a foul ball off to the left, 1-1. That ball ricocheting off the net and caroms all the way to Alana Rivera. Frustratedly fires it back to Ocasio. Puerto Rico gunning for 5th place, but if they lose this game, then we're going to have to wait and see what the results of tonight's matchup between Australia and Italy are. And even then, potentially, we might need the TQB to figure out the placement of this round. 2 balls and 1 strike. The gold medal game is tomorrow night, USA versus Japan. That pitch is a strike, 2-2. The bronze medal game tomorrow evening, Netherlands versus Canada. That's must-watch softball. Right here, Puerto Rico and China. China finally breaking through. There's a ground ball off the end of the bat. It gets past Claudio, who was caught flat-footed, and rolls into the outfield. That's a hit and another run for Shi Kai-lin, and it is now 4-1 China. Claudio did not move her feet on that. Just reached across her body, and the ball scooted under her glove into right field. And Shi Kai-lin will be run for. This is Gui Yuanyuan will go in pinch run. At first. And Tang Changdong is discussing exactly that, I believe, with Renzo Ruiz, the home plate umpire. Shi Jiaxin now. And now we hear the energy coming from the Chinese dugout. We heard that yesterday in the game versus Australia. China trying to pull out a couple of extra inning wins.
Joining at first base for Team China, number 23, Wei Yuanyuan.
So Yuanyuan is the runner at first. Running for Shi Kai-lin. Kai-lin, I'm sure, will go back and catch in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now Shi Jiaxin, as China has opened up a 4-1 lead. First pitch off speed, drops in. Jiaxin today is 0 for 3. She grounded out, struck out looking, and struck out swinging. Now China trying to climb the standings with their last gasps, trying to go out with 2 victories, 0-2. Shi Jiaxin for Puerto Rico in the bottom of the 8th. They will also start with a runner on second base, and then they will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate. Cordova, Martinez, and Lopez. So Ocasio trying to keep this thing close, 0-2. Little tapper foul, the count still 0-2. As Jiaxin waits on that pitch. Gui Yuanyuan, the runner on first base. This inning started the sacrifice bunt. Yan Siyu laid down a perfect bunt. Garcia on that play thought about trying to go to third, but realized that there was no play there as Jiaxin strikes out for the second out. But then the big hit. Xie Yue with an RBI single, and Ren Min 4 for 4 with a triple down the right field line to drive home Yue. And then Shi Kai-lin followed that with an RBI hit under the glove of Carla Claudio. And Wang Bei swings through the first offering from Ocasio. Bei is 0 for 3. Remember, the top of this inning was ended when Alana Rivera was doubled off second base representing the winning run. Puerto Rico was close to walking it off, but then the line drive to third. Now Bei with a fly ball to left field. Martinez is there to put it away, and the inning is over. But China takes the lead. They score 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. At the end of 7.5 innings of play, it is China 4, and Puerto Rico won. This is the 17th Women's Softball World Cup, live on GameTime.sport. So we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tatiana Roman is the zombie runner on second base, and Odalis Cordova steps up and takes a fastball high from Shai Inan. 64 according to the radar gun. There you see Cordova. She has 3 hits in this tournament. One of them is today, 1 for 3 in this game. And that one missed low, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Roman on base. If Cordova and Martinez can reach, Ali Mali Lopez would potentially be the winning run. And Li Jiaxi and Shai Inan. Shai Inan wants to have a chat with Shi Kailin, as well as Li Jiaxi. Li Jiaxi is over there in the circle almost after every pitch. She is a de facto coach on that infield, especially for Inan. 2-0. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. It is 6, 7, and 8 in the order for Puerto Rico. Cordova, Janelle Martinez, and Ali Mali Lopez. If anybody gets on, Kathy Garcia. 2 balls and 1 strike. And that one's upstairs, 3-1. Well, Puerto Rico, they saw China get some big hits in the top half of this inning. They would love to return the favor and have another comeback win after that exhilarating win last night. That is a strike on the outside corner. Full count on Odalis Cordova. Cordova has played well at second base. She made that nice diving catch to end the 6th inning, but she strikes out there, and there's 1 away. And of course, when you have a multi-run lead in this temporary extra runner situation, no point in bunting, because the bunt doesn't help you. You need base runners. As I know, Janelle Martinez will take a crack at it. She is 1 out of 2 with a sacrifice. This pitch is high. And Shai Inan, how much pressure has been put on her this week? She started every game. I've said it a bunch of times already. Threw 150 pitches in an extra inning game yesterday, pitching 10 innings against Australia. And here we are in extra innings again. That pitch is a strike. 1-1. Inan in this game, 96 pitches. She was removed after 48 pitches and then brought back in after Wei Yu Chen faced 5 hitters. There's a pop foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And as I mentioned, 0 emotion outside of the 2 hand claps after the end of the 10th inning yesterday. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Janelle Martinez. That's fouled. And Inan shakes her hand off after that last delivery. Every foul ball like that, when you feel like, okay, this has to be getting close to some of the final pitches I'm going to throw this week. And then it's fouled away and you got to do it again. One ball, 2 strikes. That's hit hard but foul. Martinez turning on that inside pitch. And it's not as if Inan has had quick innings. She's mostly had to deal with base runners. In fact, Puerto Rico has not gone in order in any inning in this game. And the match against Australia yesterday was very similar. It's one thing to throw a lot of pitches but go deep in the game. It's another to labor every inning out there in this heat. 2 balls and 2 strikes, but she's there. Goes to the rosin bag. Roman, the runner at second base, 1 out. Puerto Rico down to their final 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Inan has struck out the first 2 hitters she's faced in this inning.
Now batting for Team Puerto Rico, number 11, Ali Mali.
That's 5 strikeouts total for Shai Inan, and now Ali Mali Lopez. The last chance to keep this game going for Puerto Rico. And a little roller off the knob of the bat. It's a fair ball. Inan. And of course it's Inan who fields it and throws to first. The final out of the game. She shakes hands with some of the infielders, gets a pat on the back from Shi Kai-lin. Shi Kai-lin is smiling. High fives. Boy, what a week. What a performance from Shai Inan. A 1-3 putout on the final pitch of the game. And Inan completes the victory. Final score, China defeating Puerto Rico by the score of 4-1. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for China. 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors for Puerto Rico. So we're going to have to wait to see what happens in the evening game tonight for the final placement of the 5 through 8 positions in this World Cup. But an exciting and fun ball game nonetheless. In 8 innings, China over Puerto Rico 4-1.